Hey everybody, welcome to our live stream on Friday. International Master William Paschall with the Ponda family. Happy Thanksgiving.
Give me a Y, give me a E, give me
It's always my worst button. Alright, let's try a different one.
Yes.
Yeah, this is good. Okay, we are going to start playing 5+3 Blitz. How is everybody? Happy holiday weekend if you're from the US. If you're not, you're like me. You live in Europe or somewhere other than the United States where you don't celebrate Thanksgiving. Welcome all, whether you have to work today or not. Starting a little bit later today, I had a little accident with my alarm clock. Slight accident. But anyway, I was thinking of starting with a later time, so this is kind of a good experiment. I've been thinking about starting at 11 instead of 10, or maybe 10:30, but something pushing it up a little bit later. So we'll see how this works out. Asterbait, you've been here. You've been up all night, celebrating, eating everything in the house. How many pies have you eaten so far, my friend? Let's go get some challenges. It's 5+3 casual today. The Ponda family is here for the holidays. We've got Create a Game Sunday Simul coming up. The Sunday Simul, 5+4 casual. That's close enough. Meshkov, he just aborted the game. Dude, I'm too high rated or what? It's just wrong. Alright, Arteyip. Normally I don't play 3-0 on the stream. There's no time. It's practically like bullet chess, but just for fun. I've known a couple of Yip chess players. Peter Yip, Carissa Yip. I don't really know her, but you know the name. Michael Yip. Grace Yip. Arte Yip. This is something else though. He's not a Yip. He's Turkish. Alright. B5 AE, yeah, E3. What is that? It's all one name. Tayyip. Only one pumpkin. We're making apple pie today, Asterbait. That was the plan. So, light's a little slow here. If knight c3, b4, yum yum. I think we go for it. This dude is like pre-moving. It's bullet. He doesn't have the normal counterplay you get in like the Sicilian with something like b4. He doesn't have a bishop on e3, putting a knight on b6 or something. Maybe a little bit of counterplay, not enough. Give me that. No access to b6. I like it. Stay in your lane, opponent. My fine opponent. This is a little bit of a annoyance. That's going to threaten to win a piece eventually. So he has some sort of compensation here. Nice. Advanced positional play. And quick, too. He has 2,000 in bullet, notably. Too much bullet chess. I think it's bad for your game. Very bad. Little awkward. Bishop takes f6. No. Just like pre-moving without even seeing what I played. Probably not a great move by me. Better not to do that. His speed's a little alarming. And he also doesn't make any sort of positional weaknesses. I normally don't play 3-0 on the stream, obviously. This is why. It just becomes sort of silly. Like, we learn nothing from this. This is simply a warm-up game for me. But we're not learning anything about chess by doing this. This is essentially a waste of time. Anyway. Comes the second wave. Oh, he likes it outside pawn. Okay. Lost on time. That's interesting. That's about the fastest player I've seen at that rating capable of actually flagging me. Wow. Alright. It sucks. At least it was unrated. Normally people who play unrated wouldn't care to win on time that much. Anyway, that's why I don't play 3-0 very much unless I'm warmed up. Very impressive. Not really. Okay, let's get some challenges. 5+3. Real-time control. Community play. Create game. Tournaments. Simultaneous exhibitions. What? What do you mean he's a cheater? What are you talking about? He just flagged me in bullet chess. I mean, he lost position like the whole game. I mean, or he was like clearly worse the whole game. Why would he be a cheater, dude? I don't understand people. All right. He just plays for time. I mean, it's his whole game. It's just not what I normally do, you know, and I just woke up, so. I would not play rated 3-0 in this condition. Ops-colored bishop is like the worst thing you can get into against a player who plays for time. You would never want to play an ops-colored bishop position against a time player. Fish, rat, cow. I'm waiting for 5+3 challenges from everybody while I'm getting warmed up here. They got to change the menu options here so you can go directly to the lobby. That's really annoying. 10-year-old 5+3. All right. Sorry, guys. A little bit of a late start, but I want to experiment with a slightly later time as well. Usually we don't have enough viewers if we start at 10 o'clock, so it seems like we start picking up more viewers around 11, 11:30. I mean, it makes a little bit more sense if I was to start later. Harder for Acerbate, though. It's later for you. People who could watch me, like West Coast USA, I know it's later for you. Okay. Happy Thanksgiving / Black Friday, whatever that is. Not a real holiday. It's a shopping excuse for businesses to raise their prices the week before Thanksgiving or something. Knight takes d4, d6, sacking the pawn there. Yeah, this is kind of an annoying variation. I never really bothered to study this enough. Just rook b8. I'm not sure. Very unnatural to play that. Let's just bring our bishop back. A draw offer is more appropriate and unrated. Who brought up the matter of a draw offer? Did he offer a draw? He didn't offer a draw, right? Nobody offered a draw. Well, I don't know. You see, the thing about draw offers in any sort of thing like that would be, I don't know what the etiquette is amongst modern bullet players, but I would assume everyone just flags everyone. But there's no, I don't see the point in a draw for an unrated, honestly. You know, I don't see. Maybe you just want to be polite or something, but that game was not a draw. He was like, even at the end, he was probably, even though he queened first, he might have been worse. What am I doing? I'm going to sack an exchange here. I guess so. I'm not familiar with this, theoretically. I never had anyone play bishop e6 in that position before. I guess I just figured I would sack the exchange, go with the flow. But it doesn't look good enough, frankly. I mean, it's good enough for white to be interesting, but maybe this is good enough. Probably not. I'm being tortured by these guys who were working on the roof of my building. They've been doing it for like 3 weeks now. I mean, it was tolerable for like maybe the first 2 weeks, but now it's reaching the point where it's almost unbearable. I'm getting kind of pissed. I'm not sure if they're almost done or not. Depends on how much of the roof they want to do this to. Queen takes. If I could just get 2 pawns for that, I would have enough. But I don't. Then the ambulance came. There was this incredible video I was recording like a couple days ago. And literally, it was like an audio, not really a video, but audio chess recording with the board. And I think like at one point there must have been 6 ambulances in a row while I was trying to record this video. And my window's closed. You can hear that. If you're lost on time, is it for him? It is for him if it's instructive play. I can actually play 3-0 pretty well. I'm better at 5-0, but if I don't play 3-0 for a long time, I get slow, and my reaction times are too slow to play 3-0 effectively. I was never quite as strong. I'm going to take this. The second pawn is critical for black to have enough compensation for this exchange that I sacrificed. But I don't think he should give me the second pawn. I mean, if black... Where's Warnaki? A5? Maybe he's got a serious issue, though, you know. I think he's concerned about takes and bishop h3. I don't know that that's enough, though. I feel like black can allow me to take on e6 in this position and probably be fine. You know, so he should not give me the second pawn there. Once I get the second pawn, now I actually have enough compensation. He's aiming for an exchange. I mean, I don't know if you really want to trade queens here with black. I don't know if I want to trade queens. My queen is so good, frankly. I think white could trade queens and still be okay, but I also don't really think that white's winning. It's like a sort of dynamic equilibrium. I have enough for the two pawns for the exchange, but objectively, I'm trying to keep the game more complicated. This is a good place for a knight here. It secures a2. It's just really centralized. Keeps an eye on the d5 square. I could exchange on e6 and I'm equal again. Probably not worse. But I think the question becomes, which is typical for these types of positions, what's the deal with this bishop? What is deal with bishop? Is this really useful in any way? Much easier to play white here. His rooks have a hard time doing anything without a truly open file. This is not an open file. It is a half open file, half open file, half open file. Yes.
Yes!
Alright guys, we lost in a 3-0 unrated on time to someone. That sucked, but thankfully it was unrated. I was prepared to lose like 50 rating points. He would like to trade queens to ease his pain here. C5 breaks. Actually, I mean, if I can't push my pawns, right? I mean, am I going to win? He's going to go for the queen trade. That's fine. I'm not going to trade queens. I will not trade queens with you now, maybe later. H4. Very good, sir. Actually, H4. Yeah, why not? Now his queen could take up residence on E5, but you know, it's sort of F4 land. I don't think that it's that safe there. He could get his queen trapped. Not an impressive victory. Actually, this opening annoys me. This knight takes c6. I don't like taking the pawn. But as far as I know, that's what theory recommends here. But it's really irritating to play this. I don't like to lose the initiative on move 8. We really need to research that. However, no strong players seem to play that gambit. There are other modified versions of it with knight g4 that actually seem pretty good. Rook c7. Let's try this one more time. I was hoping there'd be some lever at some moment with like c5. Uh-oh. queen digestion. Well, that's the thing. He's going to have to put it on f5. Huh. Almost trapped. Yeah, this drops a rook. It's hard to play with black. Black's probably okay, but much harder to play. I'm annoyed by this, dude. How's the evaluation before he drops the rook? Slightly better for white. Yeah, it's like plus 0.4 after queen c5. It's a tough position, but what the heck is the deal with this line? It's driving me crazy. You have to take the pawn. It's so lame. But I've never seen anyone play this before. Rook b8, bishop e6. I kind of knew this was a move, queen a4, but it's very artificial. In fact, I almost played that. Karpov, Topalov. Like, I've seen this somewhere. Maybe I'd even looked at that previously. So my move's supposed to be the best move. And now they're supposed to play queen a5. More of a logical move, I guess, to prevent queen a4. He played bishop e6. Damn, so this has been played before. Wow. He's the only person who's played knight e4. It's like the only move. What the heck? Vaganyan has a game for 2000. I thought white's just worse. Wow, that's crazy. Oh, no, I've had enough. Thanks. I like how another Turkish player challenges me to 3-0 after that other guy. You kidding me? All right. He's like, oh, I beat this guy who's 2,500. Go check him out. Beat him too. That's funny. Lord Ulrich. Yeah, I actually moved the stream for today 1 hour later. I'm usually starting an hour earlier. But I want to experiment with this time slot. All right, dude. This is so annoying. This little kid's. It's got to be a little kid. When it like challenges you and then it like challenges you again. Dude, that's so annoying. Stop that. Go to the back of the class and no more challenges. Anyway, knight e4. Jesus, I could take with the bishop here. This was the game? I'm not even awake yet. That's embarrassing. No wonder this is good for white. I sacked an exchange. I could just take bishop takes, rook b1, bishop takes c4. That probably loses a piece for black. Probably. Bishop h6, winning the exchange back. That's messed up. That's why nobody's played knight e4. So bishop e6 just doesn't work at all. It's just not a good line. You have to play queen a5. Physically preventing b3 by attacking the knight on c3. Then it's not so easy for white without the ability to play b3. The engine says queen d3. It's funny that no one's played that. Almost. I remember this. I remember looking at this and some lines where the knight bounces here into here on c6. Erdos Navarra. Vicky. Alright guys, let's play. Baleful challenged me to 5+3 chess 960. The last game felt like chess 960. I know nothing about that line. Alright. Alright, Baleful. Take your time in the opening. I guess I should think twice about this. My king is over here, and my rook probably, I should play b4. I always play the openings badly in chess 960. I guess the first part is like taking your time on the first couple of moves. I moved a little quick there. I'm a hyper-modern style chess 960 player. I'm not sure it works as well in chess 960. The hyper-modernism. Sometimes I just get opponents who just take the center and I can never get it back. But I'm absolutely atrocious chess 960 openings. And it's not about memorizing. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just intuitively finding good continuations in the opening. I'm very bad at it. Even just my first move, b3, I think is probably kind of lame. Mate? You're gonna mate me? It's not nice. I was planning on castling kingside. Thanks, guys, for helping me wake up here with moves like bishop e7. Happy Thanksgiving. It's my belated Thanksgiving in Hungary. I had to work all day yesterday, so maybe we'll get some turkey today. f6. I don't like black's position either. Baleful. One of our subscribers. Everyone's welcome to challenge, though. Friday is meant to be a day when all challenges are honored. Unless you have like a new account with no games, and then I don't like playing totally anonymous new accounts. If you have 100 games or so, I'll accept your challenge. The biggest thing is this heavy piece is kind of buried in the corners. I mean, very hard to get these pieces in the game. Okay, they're heavy pieces. They're not supposed to enter the game till later, but still. Castling kingside looks like the way to go here. Copying me. Now I gotta watch this g2 square. Knight f4. Smothered mate would be sick, huh? I don't think I've ever seen a smothered mate with a king on c8 before. Does anybody? c1, c8 smothered mates? That never happens. I mean, when you queenside castle, there's never any pieces on b1 to make you get smothered mated. Baleful just castled queenside. I can do that too, dude. No, I can't, because my bishop's there. Anyway. This is a bit of a problem. Speaking of which, how do I get this bishop back in the game? Maybe I should just go for the space with d5, e4. Then I get smothered mated for real. The smothered mate is on its way. I'm a little concerned about him blasting the center with d5. Yeah, he's going to have all sorts of counterplay. Okay, it's ridiculous to just talk about the smothered mate. I mean, there's problems here and there's problems here, though. We have to be careful. If the knight gets into f4, I'm talking about in terms of playing like e4. It might be very, very bad. Very, very bad. Already black has active options like b5. Astrobate, what do you think? Safe? Feeling safe after b5? Attacking my pawn chain, c6. c6. Typical Owen's defense. Pawn break. Right, Astrobate? English defense, Owen defense. Welcome everybody to the stream. Here with the Ponda family. Please support this stream if you can. Be so generous by subscribing. So here's the issue, right? E4, knight f4, we have knight e1, but then there's like bishop a3 check. We have to put the king on c2. Getting a little closer to the danger zone, and all right, very well. I'm going to risk it. You saw that. Master saw that. King on c2. Bring it on. He almost has piece sacrifices on d5, but I'm unconvinced. This is going to be a problem about castling. Maybe castling queenside is still on the table. By the way, Baleful, who was it you beat? You had a really good game against someone. You beat one of the stronger players in the stream, didn't you? We looked at h5 with a very subtle idea of bishop h7. Take leave of this place. Oh man, wait. So b4 a5 gets really crazy, but it might be worth considering. Take a walk. Walk on the wild side with king b3. Bishop h7, knight e4. This is not my normal kind of game. I like to keep control of the position. I have anything but control. a5 is the most aggressive move, but it's pretty double-edged. Basically, I have no idea what's going on. We're just randomly making moves. Well, I just don't get it, you know? I like material. The sequence. But it's not mate. You can have it. Actually, f5, knight g5. You've given me a rook so far. Now this move I missed. That's like demonic. Seriously? I'm scared. Now he's just taking stuff. What's the material? He's 1651. What? My God, man. Pretty alert tactically. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Material is equal. He's up a pawn. But that's not enough for him. He wants to play for mate. Anyway, that was hanging. JBL. JBW, sorry. L, whatever. It's a letter. Happy Thanksgiving / Black Friday. Baleful, why didn't you just simply take... Why do you have to be so fancy? Fancy chess sucks. Alright. Now he's down a rook. There was no reason to sacrifice a rook. You actually had a pretty good game. Traded off. Man. He was a pawn up, essentially. If you just simply take it on h1 and then take it on d8. Here it comes, the E file. I just wanted to block his queen there. Extra rook. Usually a good thing. Maybe I'll lose on time like I did against the other guy. How about a trade of queens? How do you feel about that? Thought you'd like it. Oh. It's panicking. Don't worry, it's not rated. It doesn't count. Man, Baleful. That was ridiculous. Nice. Insane position. He's got to be better after a while. I opened myself up too much. How bad was this game? Your computer says you're just winning after bishop f7. Wow. That's serious. a5 Warnaki. This was an amazing move, I thought, knight d6. This is a cool position. So if you just simply take here, I take and you take, it's actually a really close game. I mean, I'm technically down a pawn, right? Oh, I'm actually winning it back, though, on the move here with f takes. After all that, we'd have had equal material. The white king looks wide open, but you're actually kind of hurting with that bishop on a3 that can't really get back in the game. No, it was a fun game. Looks like you were clearly better. I felt overextended. You never know. Okay, guys, taking all challenges from established accounts here. International Master William Paschall, what's up, guys? Join the whatever. Join the stream. Hiroku. It's like Hikaru. Alright. Like Hikaru, just different. Alright, so we're not playing chess 960 now. It's just normal chess. We can play whatever we want. It's not a weird opening stream. It's just regular chess. Let's go. Free challenges. The French, I hate the French. God. Hate the French. We can play like, let's play like, play, damn it, why can't you play the winnower? I would have played the Nefedov variation with the A3. Nefedov, very impressive, that line. It's important to have something against the winnower, no doubt. I feel a little more comfortable playing the classical French. Yeah, of course, Anonymous, you can't be totally disrespecting material. As I always say, 99% of tactics don't work. We just have to play boring chess, unfortunately. How many times have you played somewhere where you tried to inject a lot of life into the game when they only made like the only forced move every single move and lost? That's the worst feeling. When you go out of your way to try to play creatively and make all these sacrifices and do all this crazy stuff, and the other player just like calmly like makes the only move they can make like every single time and then wins. There's nothing worse than that feeling. Like, why did I just bother? You know. But sadly, like 99% of chess moves have to be just the kind of run-of-the-mill, ordinary, routine moves. You know. Sadly. Bishop e7 feels to me like, you know, typical playable move, but not very aggressive. So essentially, chess is not a creative thing. I mean, yeah, it's not completely creative. That's the downside. It's not limitless, and it's, you know. I mean, maybe if you really like creativity, then something like problem solving or composition would be cool. I mean, from an artistic standpoint, I think, you know, there are these people who don't play chess really. They just focus on problem composition, I should say, not problem solving. I mean, obviously, like, solving problems is part of it, but composing like fantastic positions where all these, you know, study-like possibilities are in existence. Maybe someone on the artistic, creative side would prefer that to actually playing chess, because it seems like a lot of the time in chess it's just about, look at Magnus Carlsen. I mean, he's like Mr. Technique, you know. He's certainly not like, he may be the greatest chess player of all time, but I certainly wouldn't put him in the top 10 of the most creative chess players. If that goes to show how far creativity necessarily goes. B6 is a weird move. Is it essential to develop my pieces, do you think? Yes. Development is important. It's more like a Sicilian when you play the classical. There's the C file, counterplay here. Do I have F5? That's what you really want to look for. Damn. It's interesting. F5, pawn takes pawn, E6, second pawn sack. If he takes that, bishop takes G7. But black has some weird counterplay. Maybe not. All right, well, here we're being creative, right? We're talking about creativity in chess. No, I don't think you can. No problem at all. Welcome. I don't think you'd say chess is not a creative thing. It is a very creative thing, but it's not entirely creative. I just repeated what I said already. So he just doesn't care. It's cool. Not that bad for black. Hiroku. Seems pretty good for a 1600. I don't know why I won all my games without any draws against him. That's kind of surprising. He seems too good for that. Alright, this is disappointing. I really wanted him to take on e6, but declining the second pawn sacrifice. They're all the beautiful mates, so like bishop g7, rook g8, bishop h5 mate. I mean, this just made me feel so good about having that bishop e2 move. That's why I needed to play bishop e2. Development was complete. I don't think this is sound. I don't think I have quite enough for the pawn. Maybe I have enough compensation for the pawn, but certainly not more than enough. Damn. What's going on now? Bishop b5? Why am I being tempted by that move? Knight e4. Knight e4, queen f4. This is not a normal position. His king's on f7, f5 is a little bit weak. This helps me a tiny bit. I feel like there's something here. But what is it? Where is it? Queen f4. Forcing him to make a useful move. We're close. Seems like he's reluctant to play g6. But it's probably like mandatory. Exactly. Can't live without that. All pieces in game. Now, we almost have some tactics. I actually had a strange night last night. My biggest issue has been like falling asleep, but this morning strangely I like woke up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I haven't done that in ages. Then it was like a question if I could go back to sleep. Eventually I did, but I had to reset my alarm. Wow, bishop c5, cool move. Though I don't know if ultimately this is a good thing or not for him. He seems really strong for his rating, honestly. 1677. Oh, he's 2000 in bullet. Wow. What? He's 1616 rapid. So why is he so much better in bullet? Just super fast when he needs to be is enough to put him over the edge. Or maybe he just cares more about bullet. He gets bored by long time controls. Alright. Thankfully, he can't play rook e8. That's a really important thing here. Actually, d4 is coming. Okay, it's complicated. $2,500 Blitz, 1,900 Rapid. You must just get bored with more than 5 minutes. I don't know. Or Some people, I think, they just have their friends play on their other account or something like that. Why did he just resign? Maybe he just resigns when he shouldn't. That's why he's 1600. Resignation is definitely premature here. Rook e7, king h6, rook takes b7, a takes b5, rook takes b6. He resigned. Sometimes they might have like a roommate or a friend who plays one. They play on the same account for whatever reason. I don't know why. It's like a free site. Why would everybody not have their own account? But you never know. Or like dad plays on the one account and then Sonny plays on the other account. I mean the other time control or whatever. So Heroku resigned. Thinking he like lost a piece or something. Look, I resigned the other day in a rapid game because I thought I lost a piece. Same thing. Don't feel bad about it. Exact same thing. I sat there for like a minute and resigned in a position where I wasn't losing a piece. Sack, unsound sack. All right. That was a great game. Actually, I thought black played well in a kind of unorthodox way. My pawn sack was speculative. It was meant to be speculative. I wanted to have fun. Probably f5. I mean, I might not play that move in a tournament game. Oh, good. I love the London system. We'll just try to play like Queen's Indian. I had a game like this yesterday or before yesterday. I guess the problem is eventually you have to decide between d5 and c5, and oftentimes it will transpose anyway. Knight h5 is an interesting move, though. I mean, theoretically I can do this, right? It just trades pieces. I'm not going to play f6. I think I saw this. This has been played. What's up, guys? Happy Friday. Alright, this move, really. Yeah, I don't really advocate bishop e5. It doesn't seem like the right idea. Yeah, I don't like bishop e5. He can play bishop g5. He can also just like play bishop g3. But it seems like he just gave me a free move. It's not like bishop b5 check is a big deal. I'll just play knight d7. I don't have to play c6. So, this is not the appropriate position for bishop e5 to be played. It's not a big deal, he just gave me a tempo. Then what do I do? After bishop g3, he can, yeah, bishop g4, what's he gonna do? I mean, maybe bishop f4 is better than bishop g3, actually. It's still very solid. Kamsky would love this for white. Probably not like losing a tempo, but you have to play bishop g3 now, or bishop f4. Every time I play the London system with black, I'm just coming up with a new idea what to do. I did find a good system though. d4, knight f6, bishop f4, d6. I don't know why I didn't play that. I'll play that next time. Okay, so this is threatening back into the game. If I'm going to take on g3, I really want to have a fianchetto set up. So we play like a hippo. Hippo, hippo. Hippo grippo. Happy, happy. Is it hungry, hungry hippo? Christmas time is coming, Asterbait, so don't forget to write your list for Santa. G4. Very well, sir. Whatever. I guess to play h6, g5, bishop g7, pawn takes. I disrespect London. Actually, I hate people who jump on the bandwagon. The bandwagon mentality. Like, I'm going to play the London because everybody plays that. I've always tried to play things that are, like, not popular. I find it's much more effective. The bandwagon. It's an American saying. When you follow fashion just for the sake of following fashion, more or less, it's much more effective to play openings that aren't popular than ones that are popular. If you play the London system, it's this trendy system. Everyone knows what to do against it because every other player plays it, you know. It's stupid to play something that everybody plays. Then all of your opponents are guaranteed to be well prepared. That should be like the... Man, b4 is insane. You just castled queenside and now you're playing b4? Seriously? At least I have a dark scored bishop. But I can't... I mean, I guess I could have just played king b8. Nils, what's up? Good morning. How's Thanksgiving in the Netherlands? Yeah, the positions are dull. That's why I banned people from playing the London system in my simuls, jokingly. It's very dull, you know. But when I asked one strong grandmaster why he plays the London system, his answer to me was that it pisses people off. So he felt like it made his opponents angry and they sort of... maybe they played more recklessly. I know. You know, it's funny, that guy on the sound, I'm calling it on No Problem at All on sound. I don't know why. There was somebody else on sound. No problem at all. The funny thing about Tonat Min is that he's been here for a long time. Probably like 10 years, maybe more. Yeah, more. But I've never played him because he never played in like any GM tournaments. He would only play in IM tournaments, and you know, I guess he couldn't afford the entry fees to like GM tournaments, so he got his IM title and he never played in the strongest closed tournaments. So I've actually never played the guy in all the years that we've been here. It's very funny. I've played many players in Hungary, but that particular guy, I've never ever faced him. So he's got this history I've seen for playing really weird openings. In fact, there was a funny thing I noticed. You know, like Google has Google reviews, and that's the trendiest thing as far as reviews go. It's now considered more valuable than other sites. So the first Saturday chess tournaments actually have like a Google review, which is not good for them, but they do. And somebody wrote in there, their complaint as to why First Saturday sucks was because some some international master came late and then played their game with like h3 on the first move. This was a literal. Somebody actually wrote into Google reviews like why First Saturday chess was bad, because the international master that they faced came and played h3 against them on move 1. They didn't take it seriously. First of all, this is like not really an appropriate comment for a Google review of the First Saturday chess tournament. But the funny part is that it was Tonat Min who did that. You know, he came late and like played this ridiculous opening or something. It's just kind of funny. Knight c5. Then where? It's still in the reviews. Yeah, what a ridiculous thing, you know, to write in your Google review. Not like the organizer sucks or the venue was bad. Like, oh, I just lost a piece. Well, we could sack our queen. There are definite queen sacks in around here. Oh, man, wow. Let's just take on c3. Or not. See, I'm concerned about queen f6. Queen f6. Am I concerned about queen f6? If I'm concerned about queen f6, why don't I play bishop takes f3? That's why the hippo is so good. Hippo snippo. There's no need for queen f6. Okay, it's still a little bit unclear, but whew, that was a close one. That's why we put both bishops on the long diagonals, just in case of accidents like that. Whew, that was close, guys. Now we just calmly try to grind white down in this tactical endgame. Queen b4 pin, take 2. No, he didn't do it. Not this time. King a7, bishop c2. I have the feeling, yeah, don't really want to trade queens. So this player drew me the first time. Wow. Strong 1885. Another player who's suspiciously low in Blitz, but higher in the other time controls. Well, that's lucky. I didn't lose a pawn back. I have to play rook h8. This is a really tough endgame. I mean, probably white's going to hold this. I'm not even up a pawn. It's equal pawns. Why didn't you guys tell me it's equal pawns? Somebody needs to keep me informed about this stuff. Probably slightly worse here. Wow. This is a guy who's supposed to be 1885 in Blitz. His technique is monstrous. I'm unable to beat him 2 games. F4. Oh. It's kind of a crazy move. Wow. What the heck is going on? He's just a maniac, right? Maniac style. You didn't take the pawn. Damn, he's on the cheapo attack. Reminds me of someone else, actually. I think Unsound Sack the Mate might be another player we know. Amazing technique there. Cheesy Noob's secret account. All right. Not an 1800. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do about Tonat Min, but it doesn't seem like the kind of player you can really prepare for. I don't know. Anytime I prepare for my opponents, that's the other thing. No problem at all. Like, they don't even face me. Or last week I prepared for 7 hours to play Florian Katzor, and he didn't even play me. So it's really irritating. Probably I really will play Tonat Min, though. He's their only good player. This is a good player, 2275. I played the Bogo. I hate this variation. D5. I played a lot. Castles. That was a strong effort by White, but I think it's Cheesy Noob. This guy that I banned from my channel because he was trolling me. Maybe not, but it has similar style. I didn't intend to play b6. I changed my mind at the last minute. This is like a kind of safe way to play. I was going to play d6. I played that way against Erdos 2 years ago. And lost in a very passive way. Cancel. I didn't mean to take back, sorry. Don't play passively, guys. What do I do with this bishop now? Save it for later. I've lost this position with both colors. I'm terrible. So if I take on d2 now, White just has the bishop pair for nothing. I guess I have to bring the bishop back. Then b4. I managed to lose this position with White too. Years ago against Ilincic. I just for some reason can't play either side of these structures. very well. Yeah, but that would be my luck that he doesn't go anywhere though. This is not a chess player who travels to play other teams in other countries or yeah. He probably works at the chess hotel. Yeah, no, I'll play him. Unfortunately, I'm black again for the third time in 4 matches. Actually, 2 out of 3, but 3 out of 4. Counting the Budapest Team Championship. This is a pawn sack? But I have good chances to beat Tonat Min. Even though he's 4-0, he's really beatable. I mean, there was a time, honestly, for me, like 10 years ago, when a player like Tonat Min would have been kind of a target for me, you know. Now we're like around the same rating or something. But I don't know, maybe he'll play H3. Like in the Google reviews. They should have Google reviews for chess players. There was a time when Tonat Min would have been like a juicy target that I would... I mean, I played in tournaments where he would be like one of the players who I had to beat, you know, or had really good chances to beat. He would have been one of the weakest players in the tournaments that I used to play in. That were so strong. I mean, he's never played in tournaments like that. That's why I'm not considered to be kind of an ordinary player for my level, for my rating anyway. But still, you lose your confidence after a while. I lost 2 games this season coming back from the United States. I lost for completely different reasons, the 2 games that I lost. One was just like rusty and can't calculate, and the other one I just overpressed and was too optimistic. But I don't know, I should have just made a draw against Alincic. I wanted to play chess and I tried to beat him and I lost. It's a totally different thing. Now, White lost a pawn here. I don't think it was a gambit. You know, he just wasn't paying attention. He probably woke up like me a little while ago. So it still seems like White should have some sort of little bit of compensation. After this wing gambit. This is the Finnish wing gambit. It's the I woke up 5 minutes ago variation. Probably. If it was me. Played all the matches on first board, yeah. This is talking about my game on Sunday. Vietnamese IM who's lived here in Hungary most of his life, actually, since he was a kid. They have a strong contingent of Vietnamese players that have been based in Budapest for quite some time. I've played most of them, but not Tonat Min. Some of them were my teammates, like Huang Tran, formerly. I know almost all the other ones. Alright, let's take on c4. We'll preserve our structure here. If he had taken on d5, I probably would take with the pawn, leaving myself with an ugly structure. This pressure down the A and the B files isn't that easy to resolve. I can't just push my pawns down the board so simply. So he has a kind of Benko gambit, wing gambit style play now. And d takes c4 was controversial because now he has really like a central pawn majority. So he could try to avalanche his center with like e4, but that's a risky move. He did it. It's not that risky. Theoretically, he weakens his d4 pawn, but so what, you know? There's an interesting possibility here. Knight b4, followed by bishop a6. We got to do something. We got to do something to create some some sort of play. Back to where I came from. He doesn't really have any threats, though. I mean, if he plays e5, then I'm going to control that diagonal. I can just play g6 or whatever. It's a good wing gambit. I was actually thinking of bishop a6. But maybe I ought to like play this and make sure there's no tactics. If I'm going to play bishop a6, we can have the bishop behind the pawn. We start the pawns rolling. d5 might be a dangerous idea. Those two bishops look really, really brutal. d5, pawn takes pawn. But it's not clear that it's enough. You know, either he has something or he doesn't. Like d5, ed, knight takes, queen e4, g6. What's up? I was thinking the sealer sweeper. Another good example of the sealer sweeper sacrifice. One of our viewers, Move 11, had mentioned recently. Sam Shanklin wrote a book on pawn play. I don't know what it's called. And he has some sort of examples in there of sealer sweeper sacrifices. This is one typical sacrifice, like d5, pawn takes pawn, e5. You can push past. I mean, white clearly has some play. I don't want to be too greedy. I'm up a pawn, right? Knight d7. That's a dangerous piece. All right, queen b5, knight e5. Some funny variations, like queen b5, knight e5, pawn e5, queen d2, queen b7, queen b2. His rook is hanging, mate. I'm not sure he can take on b5. He did it. I guess he could just take back on e5. He saw it. He got his pawn back. His pawnda. Happy to get the pawn back, obviously. And I'm losing on time. But this could be a problem. Queen c5, rook c8. Queen b5, bishop d4. Problematic. Queen b5. I thought queen b5. I'm losing track. What's happening here? What? He's freaking out, is what's happening. He resigned? I didn't even see mate in 1, mate in 2. I wasn't going to see it. I played queen e8. That's embarrassing, dude. Maybe we'll play again if you're still around. I want to give other people a chance to play, even though there's no more games. Any other challenges, guys? I'll accept him. There's no other challenges. I'll play another game with him. Please, some more challenges. Uber driver, feel free. That was unnecessary, you know, for him to just fall apart, obviously. He played e4. I'll have to have a look at his game. Uber's been driving all night. But I don't think that Tonabmin is the player who is playing serious openings. So this variation we had recently with Jim, I lost with White. We were talking about this the other night. This I refused to play, like with Black last match against Florian Kotzer. I wasn't going to go into this anymore. Not in a game. I didn't want to suffer. I could have probably had this if I had had that game actually take place. I was unwilling to play this with Black. It's the last time was in the Budapest Spring Open in 2017 and 2018, and I just suffered. It's a pain. Knight h5 I've never really seen before. Interesting. I would think that I have something strong here, though g4 is unconvincing. g4 may not be a big deal. I feel like White should play something developmental. The question is what? I guess bishop b5 and then take on d6. I mean, bishop b5, bishop d7, ed, a6, presumably. What do I do there? Then I just like retreat my bishop? Probably that's fine, right? Believe me, I'm capable of losing these positions with both colors. I know from experience. Jim played knight g4 against me, and he was talking yesterday how he was surprised when he looked in the database and saw that I had played that move 20 years ago with Black. It's true. That was one of my first strong tournaments in Hungary in 1997, maybe 1998 actually. I played Grandmaster Peter Wells. With Black, I played knight g4. It's an experimental line, but it's not really great. Now he just recaptured. This isn't great for Black. White just has a better structure. It looks pretty ugly actually. So nothing fancy. I guess I just castle. Black's position is kind of riddled with weaknesses. The center doesn't look particularly well controlled. But this is the bigger deal. I mean, the pawn on d6. We don't have to mate him or trap his king in the center. I mean, I think just the long-term structure problem is very serious. Almost strategically lost for Black. Okay, knight d5. That's not a developing move. Start with check. Don't move the same piece twice is a good general principle that in the early stage. It almost always is true. Now maybe knight d5. I'm moving the same piece twice, but it's move 12. Threatening to win a piece. A blocking bet. This is ugly for Black. Ugly. 97. He might be able to play 97, 97. He'd actually like to get into an endgame, believe it or not. Starting to rain in Budapest, Hungary. How about you? You see, I don't really want to trade a mess of pieces here. That's probably what's going to happen now. I have no problem with this, though. Perhaps we trade bishops but not queens. Knight e7, bishop d7, or just sit there. And can I increase the pressure? Like, knight e7, bishop h6 isn't really a big deal. Maybe bishop g5 here is interesting. There are other moves. We have other ways of dealing with them. Bishop f4. Even bishop f4. It's a weird move. Looks like it loses a piece. Well, it doesn't lose a piece, obviously, because it's with check whenever I take something. Right, well, Uber driver, yeah. You know, the funny part is, I think I had repeated that thing against Marcel Martinez once. I lost this horrible game in the last round of Foxwoods, where he was like super prepared. Like he had just studied the variation with Blas Lugo and these other Cuban guys. And I went and played it against him, and he just like knew all the moves perfectly. Just crushed me in like 25 moves. Now I don't know that I want to trade queens objectively, but I may have to. I guess queen b4 loses a piece. Queen b4 actually doesn't lose a piece, strangely. It's kind of funny. Wow. I like white. I think everyone does. That's rain. Queen takes d6, knight takes f4. Man, this guy's pretty fast. But he needs to slow down. For this time control, I think. Alright, technical endgame. Yeah, it's he's done a good job to be alive. I couldn't find anything decisive. So I have a slight edge. But I think that black has realistic chances to hold this. Obviously, if the queens are off, he would be a lot better off. Or knights. The panda's multiplied. It's a family weekend. Everybody came in for Thanksgiving. Flew in directly from China. Probably I don't want to like set myself up for a knight fork. Devastating knight fork. Knight d3 resigns. It was risky. It was risky to do what I did there, essentially. Boring position now. No free knights. No free pieces in this game, to my knowledge. Thus far. He's got d5 now. That might be a little risky. His king's much more open than mine. How's the king and pawn game? Good? Okay, get your king out of the center. Everything's fine. Just resign. That's what they all do. An awkward defense. That was an awkward way to defend. It's a draw, objectively. He could have just played a6. I mean, queen g8 is a very strange way. Strange way to defend. He didn't want to let me play queen h8 check. I'm queen a8 check. Maybe I had something there. a6, queen h8 check, king a7, rook c8. But I kind of doubt it, you know. Yeah, this seems to be the theme of the day. People who just hang on against me. I can't really get anything going. Whatever, just a draw. There's no way to win this. Let's see what happened. I mean, he was busted in the opening, but I didn't find a knockout. He got to castle queenside. That's not usual. So this is crazy. Crazy move. Knight h5, theoretical novelty. It's funny that there's no killing move here. I mean, my move might even be controversial. The computer even wants to play e takes d6. That's weird. I think my line has to be the best. But here a6, pawn takes e7 check. I was just going to play like bishop e2. He can play this as a pawn sack. This is probably the best way to play, like seriously. Just bishop g7, give up a pawn. Maybe he can just sacrifice a pawn. At least in Blitz it would be enough. Atlanta Gambit. Hey guys, thanks for joining me. Alright, knight h5, full credit for inventing a new variation. You don't know this queen takes d4. Well, I know about it because I've been playing it for 22 years. 23 years. It's the critical variation. The only attempt to really refute the hyper-accelerated dragon. There are three moves, knight c3, e5, and bishop e5, but of those three moves, knight c3 seems to be the best. But I've been playing this forever, and I'm very reluctant to play it with black. The last time I lost a torturous game against Hungarian Grandmaster Antal Gergo. This is what I was getting to when I talked about my last tournament in Budapest in 2018. I prepared and I had an interesting game against Antal, but it involved sacrificing a pawn, and put me in a situation where I have to defend perfectly, and I couldn't quite hold the game. But it's not really fun playing an opening where you're on the defensive from the beginning. Remember this? We had this before. Bishop e3. Atlanta Gambit here playing a very strange variation with Queen b6. Like, nobody plays that. Happy Black Friday. All right. Wow. Bishop b4. No clue. Thanks for the donation, WJ Loof. Appreciate you guys supporting the stream. So we had this once before with Atlanta Gambit last time. Yeah, he's just messing around. He's got a very bad situation here. It's almost lost for black. Magnus Carlsen. The Magnus Carlsen zone. Lover of ops-colored bishops. So my first instinct is to just take with a sharp position that's clearly better for white. But is it possible there's a better move? Yes. In the words of Grandmaster Larry Christensen, if you see a good move, try to find a better one. Queen a4. Queen a4, knight c5, queen c6 check. That's pretty strong. There's a lot of dark squares on the board. You counted them up by hand? Queen a4. How does he protect the c6 nugget? Bishop d7, presumably. This is even better, right? I mean, there is knight takes c3, queen takes c6 check. Maybe this should worry me. Queen a4, knight takes c3, queen c6 check, bishop d7. I am kind of mobilizing his pieces. And after queen d6, I don't actually have a real threat. I definitely don't want to trade queens. That's out of the question. Very important principles. Opposite colored bishops with heavy pieces on the board are not drawish. They're attacking positions. You want to decrease the importance in your mind about how important material is and focus on the dynamic. See, he's also looking for mate, if he can get it. Asterbate's probably falling asleep, but how many? There's also 32 white squares on the board. What does that mean? What's up? Mr. Coffee. I need another coffee. So I was reading online that, I never realized this, but recommendation is if you want to go to sleep properly at night, you shouldn't drink coffee more than 6 hours before you go to sleep. I never thought it was that many hours. I don't know. I always thought it was like maybe 4. Too much coffee, Mr. Coffee. See, this bishop here, that bishop is not really a happy camper. Camp, ops-colored bishop. But the guy is going to make an escape with f6. even tactical moves like g4 is possible. That sounds like me, man. "40-ish person that barely knows how to work technology." Chess is not technology. It's so funny that I look back to the 80s and I think about teaching my parents how to program their VCR. And I thought I was so cool. What possible options does black have here other than f6? It's getting ugly. I mean, rook b1. Okay, I mean, objectively, he's probably lost. So he tries to trade queens. Let's say rook b1, queen d5, queen a4. Does rook b1 actually do anything, though? Well, rook b1 could perform a very important function, like attacking him if he tries to get through f7. There is the direct approach, and there's also g4. But g4, bishop g6, yeah, that's not a good move for black. g4. I recommend bishop g6. Yeah, well, that's the thing, Mr. Coffee. I have a lot of people in my life. I've had people in my life who don't seem to be affected by coffee and going to sleep, That's why it's weird. Did I make this worse for myself now? Whoa. No. No. It is no. You are my Luke. You are my son. Yeah. Yum yum. That wasn't easy, but we did it. Now, relax. Remember to relax when you have a winning position. Because nothing has ever gone wrong. Always relax when you have a winning position. I remember this tournament I played in Budapest like 10 years ago. There was this funny... It was a double round robin with 6 players. So you played each player. There were 6 players. You played 5 opponents, 2 games each. And the 2 top players were myself and Toterven, who's a Hungarian I am. And both times we played, it was ridiculous. Like, he was crushing me into the dirt with white. And I won this totally lost position. Completely, utterly crushed. And I won with black. And then I played him with white. And I was just crushing him ridiculously. It was probably like +5. And he won with black. We cannot let up when we have winning position like this. The inclination is to be like, oh yeah, black resigned. All right. But you got to keep up the pressure. Finland is calling again, but I want to give you guys, other players, a chance to play. Let's give everybody a chance to challenge at 5+3. Atlanta Gambit, you didn't do any homework since our last game, I assume. It's very strange that bishop e3 has never been played. You're supposed to be doing your homework. Bishop c5? What did you do? Did you like alter the move order on me? No, this is just my engine is slow. Knight a4. We looked at this last time. It's a reverse Panov Caro-Kann. I have an extra tempo on a book line here that I actually usually play with black. So it's interesting. Instead of being slightly worse, I'm slightly better. Queen a5 check, bishop d2, bishop b4. I mean, so this needs to be tested in practical games. White has some kind of very small edge. You have no international masters in your club. Few FIDE masters. We were talking yesterday about which countries have the strongest countries per capita. People always ask me why I moved to Hungary. And ice fire C. People always ask me why I moved to Hungary. Yesterday I was explaining that like Hungary is in the top countries for strength per capita, basically. I always joke about it. It's hard to be the strongest player on my street. It's funny, there's this guy, where is no problem at all still here. There's this guy who like wanders around my street sometimes. I guess he lives here, but he's just like some random master. I don't even know his name. You know, I've seen him sometimes in the Hungarian team championship. Just like one of my neighbors. Just walking down the street, you know, you see like IMs and national masters. Like that wouldn't happen in Boston or something. I would never like walk down the street and run into like, you know, a titled player. That's why they're able to organize so many strong tournaments here over the years. And it's also a central location. But, alright, let's try this. I don't know this variation too well. I've been playing Queen a4 check. Can this transpose to like the Vienna variation after c5? What would c5 be for black now? Yesh, I don't know how to say your name. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm pronouncing everything like it's Hungarian. Ilyesh. Ilyesh. Hameni. Bishop e7. Hungarian girls. That was a bonus. I remember one thing that struck me when I came to Hungary in 1996. There were like no overweight people. You know, it was really weird. Things have changed a lot though, you know. This is lame. I guess I'm winning a pawn though. Funny how Western culture has influenced Hungary. Like now they have obesity too. We shared our obesity problem with the rest of the world. But I was surprised years ago. Hot girls. I came here for the chess, man. Got distracted by other things. Started playing poker. Actually, I always played poker, but poker, chess, women. Fast food culture ruined everybody, yeah. I mean, there were no fast food restaurants. In 96 when I came here, I mean, there was McDonald's. I think they came in like 1990. But, probably like 1989, I don't know. When the first McDonald's came to Hungary. But people were a lot more healthy, even when maybe they had less money, but it's sad to see like Western culture and its effects in some respects. I guess in some respects it's better. This looks kind of lame, what I did here. I guess I'm supposed to take on c5. This in-between move was vital. Damn, I have bishop e5 check. Yeah, olive oil, homemade bread. No preservatives. That's awesome. People probably live longer too. Mediterranean diet. White is slightly better, but it's not much. I need to castle. How am I going to castle? Can I play knight takes d5? Knight takes d5. Bishop takes d4, bishop takes d7 check. So I have a secret move now. Knight takes d5 might actually work. See, this is too much bullet chess. You got to at least stop and think, like, maybe there's something here for black. He's just like, whatever, have a pawn. You got to try to find something more there. Now white's just up a clear pawn. It's the bullet mentality. It's like fast food for chess. Perfect reference. Bullet chess is fast food. Bad for your health. He had plenty of time. I mean, after knight takes d5, you have to sit there and think, maybe there's something here. At least calculate. Queen a5 check, b4. Okay, you can eliminate that. Bishop takes b5, knight takes b5, threatening knight c7 check. But there, queen a5 check. Again, I have b4. But he just like moved instantly, and there's no way he calculated all that. Maybe he's right, but he's lucky if he's right. What about Thanksgiving? Not your typical Thanksgiving. Oh, pumpernickel. Don't start talking about food. Today's Thanksgiving. My delayed Thanksgiving. We're going to cook turkey. Not a whole turkey, but something with turkey. Just for living outside of my home country permanently now. It's nice to keep some traditions alive. I don't have time to cook a whole turkey. I've done that in the past, though. We were joking about that yesterday. I told the story how I dropped the turkey on the floor in college when I was supposed to cook it for my friends. But nobody ever knew about it. Maybe one or two people. I mean, I washed it off. All right, but seriously, Mr. Coffee loves the story now. That wasn't part of my job description. Yeah, I like how there are two people that were supposed to be social chairs, but I was the one who got stuck with the turkey job. Knight to d3? What? He's getting ahead of himself. This is like some sort of hallucination. Icefire C needs to just calm down, take his time, and I think he can play well. They would have done the same in any restaurant, I'm sure. A turkey's too expensive. You can't just like throw it away because you dropped it on the floor. It's not like a piece of lettuce or something. I don't think our standards were up to health code in that house, though. All right, let's... If we run out of challenges, I'll take another challenge with kayak. I'm assuming we pronounce Finnish names like Hungarian because there's that distant relationship. So I'll call him Kaya Kesari. Learn 25. It's weird. Learn 25. Do you have 100 games? Yes. It's weird being an American pronouncing J's with a y sound. It took me a long time to kind of get used to that. It's not j. I mean, I guess in Spanish it's the same. And I did study Spanish, so I have that at least. Welcome, guys. The Caro Khan. Okay, well, I play a lot of Panov system with both colors because I like more open positions. It's hard to get an open game against the French, especially. The Caro Khan is a little bit easier. At least you have this. I always reference the people I know. Oh, this is an annoying line. Like if knight f3, bishop g4. So I have to play bishop g5. Play this position with both colors. I lost a really weird game a couple years ago to a Hungarian IM. I played queen a5 and he played bishop d2. I sat there for like half an hour trying to find an answer to bishop d2. And it turns out like the best move was like queen d8. Can you imagine? Like bishop g5, queen a5, bishop d2, which is not in the books. And then you have to like go queen d8. So white basically got to play bishop d2 for free. Strange, counterintuitive. This is very solid for black. I think c5 is appropriate here. Old school. Some kind of old school variation. Remember seeing a friend of mine play this way with white 25 years ago. It was possibly this exact position. h6 doesn't look right. Kind of reactionary move. I'm thinking maybe you should play knight e4 here. I'm going to play bishop e3. Support my center. Support your local center. Speaking of which, guys, thanks Mr. Coffee for being here. Mr. Coffee supports the stream not only with generous donations, but also by being our moderator. Mr. Coffee doesn't have to go to work today. Must feel good, Mr. Coffee. I imagine. b6. The secret break. b6 is his only break. Supporting b4. Queenside majority, 3 against 2. He can play b6 though. It made me think maybe I should play like queen a4, but probably not. a3 does seem pretty lame. Donuts are money. Time is money. Donuts are money. So learn 25. I mean, that's the thing. If you don't have one of these moves, b6 or 94, I don't think that h6 almost ever is going to really contribute to his position in this type of line. Now, my original plan was to take on c6 and play 95. But I'm actually strongly considering bishop d3. Although after b6, b4, b takes c, we have some issues. I think we better do it. Is this a bad piece? Will I one day have bishop takes h6, casting doubt on his whole conception? Solid player, apparently. It appears. My opponent is a solid player. I wonder. Maybe I just trade knights. While it feels a little bit lame, black is going to be hurt by that h6. He really lacks counterplay. I mean, f6... I have my doubts. Better castle. Otherwise he might play like bishop e5 and prevent me from castling. Now the question is what we do next. I'm prepared to play b4 if necessary on the queen side. It looks like e5 is under control for now. I want to keep that under control. If he hadn't played h6, he would be a lot better placed to play something like f6 and e5. But the fact that he's played h6 weakens his king side. That could actually be even decisive. You know, just a little move like that could alter the course of the whole game. But by all means, join the stream, guys. Bring your friends. The most instructive stream I can muster for you guys. I'm going to start trying to start a little bit later. We'll try to make maybe 11 o'clock more frequent. I have to get out of here in about half an hour or so, maybe 40 minutes. Two bishops. What's he up to? Relocating? Supporting b6? This reminds me of a Nimzo. There's a variation of the Nimzo, the Rubinstein system, where the knight goes 92, knight c3. It looks exactly like this. I lost in 15 moves to Lambadol. Everyone saw bishop a5 except for you. That was the move that this came from. I think I did something like b4, b5, and the bishop like appeared on a5, and I just had to resign because of some skewer. You don't play this kind of position every day where like the bishop's going back to d8. You know, it's kind of sitting there and you're forgetting that the bishop's on d8. Queen h5 is interesting. Primitive chess. You won 4 what? Rapid rating points last weekend? Yo, Skinner. Our numbers are down. No one's watching. They don't want to learn, apparently. I guess it might be tied to major tournaments. Whenever there's a big tournament being broadcast, it seems like our viewership goes down. But I'm really happy. You're a testament to the stream. An ugly pawn like bishop. That's going to be an issue. Yeah, I'm not happy with this. This is not what I wanted. He's fine after f5. It looks like. This is even risky for me. Wow. This is getting kind of weird now. Actually, king on g6. FIDE 2000 plus normally out of reach for you. I don't think it should be out of reach for you. I think you just lack consistency. I feel like you've gotten stronger. This opponent's pretty good. He walked into a family fork. Actually, he played this really well. He was slightly better, probably. I feel like I was slightly worse after king g6. Maybe king g6 wasn't necessary, though. Maybe if he just plays a more relaxed move there, everything would have been fine. He had outplayed me, essentially. Yeah, this is a robbery. I don't mean to rematch you, sorry. Man, I mean, basically g4. He's completely equalized after f5. And g4 really doesn't look like it even is right. You should just take on g4. I mean, I can't even play g4. And here I'm like overextended. Yeah, he's like practically winning. hg5, fg5, rook h8, bishop f4. I'm literally overextended. Nah, it was unimpressive by me. Okay, thank you for the game. Mule Skinner's up. What's up? Let's get some more viewers, some more subscribers to the stream. Things have been a little slow around here this week. We're down to 18 viewers. Why are my viewers so down to 18? I don't really get it. Is the stream even up on Lichess? They're watching Mark Esserman. Damn, dude. That's sad. Alright, g6, bishop g7, our favorite variation. Anybody normally would prefer me over Mark. Mark is annoying. Castles, nothing wrong with him. You know, he's just kind of an annoying person. But that's cool. Alright. It's just it's the elephant in the room. Knight takes b5. I'm not afraid to challenge the elephant in the room. Here we go with our favorite variation, Mule Skinner. a6, b5. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. We're going to try to play Fianchetto. We had a tough game against a different player, Mule Skinner. Someone else played your line against me. It was Saeed, who's kind of new to the stream. You have another clone, Mule Skinner. You, Mirales, and now Saeed. Actually, Zen Chess plays this line as well, so that's four players of formidable strength who do play this variation. Mr. Coffee loves us. I'm feeling honest on this Thanksgiving. Queen e1. He's improvised his move order to not play d3, but just play queen e1 immediately. Okay, whatever. I don't think it matters. You're going to have to play d3 eventually. This was my last loss against Mule Skinner. This exact variation. I had a lost position against Saeed too. He ended up dropping a piece in a winning position, but the interpretation of the position by the computer was very interesting when I analyzed it after the game. Basically, the engine wanted me to just castle into an apparent attack. Whereas I've been focusing on like keeping my options open, maybe castling queenside. Basically, the computer just wants me to like play knight f6 and castle kingside, and that's it. Just let white do his worst. We'll probably be okay. Holiday weekend, guys. That also explains the low viewer numbers. I mean, most people are like traveling, they're with their friends. Actually, not in Europe, though. In Europe, it's just another week. Happy Friday. Actually, it is Black Friday here. I mean, this is still the holiday shopping season beginning. All major European countries have it now. People are basically starting their like shopping for holidays and whatnot. Another wonderful thing we brought from the West, along with McDonald's. Black Friday. But I was trying to explain to the European viewers the reasoning for Black Friday, how it relates to Thanksgiving. The changeover from Thanksgiving to the focus on Christmas. That's why it's that day, because yesterday was Thanksgiving. A lot of Europeans wouldn't really think about Thanksgiving. You know, what is that? It has no meaning for Europeans. All right, queen d7. This is our exact game from before, right? e5, knight h6, knight g5. e5, knight h6, e6. How was our previous game that I lost, Mule Skinner? e5, knight h6, knight g5? And I guess in that position, did I do something stupid? Like I played f5? That's not how the game went. It must have been e5. e5, f5? I wouldn't have done that. I still don't understand how it happened. Somehow I let him just play like knight f7 and take one of my rooks or something. Some places set up for Christmas in July. Christmas in July. Yeah, like Christmas tree shops. Do you have that in Pennsylvania? It's like a New England thing. They're actually like closing a lot of their stores. Amazon's killing everything, including the rainforest. Knight h6. Knight e4. At least with the knight on e4, I can always like take it if it bothers me. AC Moore is a national chain. And I guess the Michaels is too. What is going on? Pardon? Looks like Mule Skinner is feeling generous today. He must have just woke up. He's celebrating his rating points. Man, what happened? This was not Mule Skinner's finest hour. Nothing for white. Oh, this is exactly what I wanted. My dream position for this line. Normally Mule Skinner is much tougher. He would have found something more stubborn. It's hard to argue that you have enough compensation for your sacrificed pawn here. We have pleasant choices. e5 is possible, but that allows pawn takes pawn. So we play bishop d5. Maybe you still have some compensation? It's hard to believe. The big pawn. That's the biggest pawn ever. Don't be afraid to confront the elephant in the room, folks. In this case, the pawn on e6. Bishop d5. What's up? Oh man. b4, knight a4. He's got the Sveshnikov knight there. It's annoying. GG Helis. Welcome. Knight g4, maybe. Do we actually have threats? Are we allowed to have threats? Not really, right? Well, actually, knight g4 is pivotal because I could play something based on h6. I could actually get my knight back in the game, too. But you have to be careful, though. He could take on d5 at one moment. This is annoying. He's got more than I thought he did. Grammatically correct. He's got more. I'm going to get me some beer. Elizabeth. How about knight f5 and just occupy? Occupy democracy. Occupy the center with knight d4. I've had enough of my knight on h6. It's driving me nuts. I can't play like that anymore. Yeah. We're just up a pawn. Even d4 is interesting. I'm running out of time, though. Counterintuitive. I don't want to see g4, dislodging the knight on f5. Rook h to f. Rook f. The rook f's were always getting hit by knight e6. There are many ways to play this position in truth, I think. Most likely. Though. Wow. Wow. I just say wow for no reason. Continuously. Uber night. It was an Uber night for Uber driver. Oh no. Pawn Islands. Mule Skinner needs more sleep. Mule Skinner, you don't have off for Thanksgiving or something, right? Preemptive strike. Maybe I sacked the exchange. Yeah, this wasn't good. Rare victory for us. We got out of the opening successfully. George Hickel against Matthias Balls. This was in 1987. Hickel hadn't discovered how to play 1g3 yet, apparently. That's weird. He was like 2600 with just g3, g6 every single game. Queen d7, and then e5. The computer might like e5. We've been here before. Knight h6. Now Mule Skinner has to find an improvement. Man, that's strange. Was this our exact same other game? You just didn't have any... You didn't really have any power today. I don't understand what I did in the other game to mess it up so bad. This just looks like it's good for black. We had an interesting game against Saeed where he didn't commit his center and he just played something like Rook b1. Along these lines. Predrag Kovacevic. All right. We got time for another game. Only stupid names left. Haven't played them in a long time. What's up, guys? International Master William Paschall. Enjoy your weekend. I know for everyone it's not Thanksgiving, including myself, but I'm nostalgic. How was your Thanksgiving, Mr. Coffee? Did you get to see any family? Just stay home? Knight f6. I always get a kick out of this name, ironically. What does that mean? Like he's made 100 accounts, so he ran out of names? What do you think? This is cool to see this, though. I mean, 99% of my opponents play like g6. We've been getting a couple captures on c4 lately, which is what I'm really hoping for. It's much more fun. I like to play open positions. This is a gambit a friend of mine invented. Everyone's too far away. I know the feeling. My Hungarian relatives. No, it's a little too far to go back. Actually, my only American relatives are in like the Midwest. And I never even really knew them. So just my own family really counts. Bishop g4 is the only independent move here other than trying to protect the pawn that might be okay for black. I admit this seems okay. I don't know if I could still sacrifice a pawn. It makes most sense to just go for the pawn to get the pawn back, but I have a modest advantage, if any. It's basically like a queen's gambit Slav defense. I want to call it something else, like the queen's gambit accepted. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. It's a queen's gambit accepted / Slav, whatever those pawn triangle lines are, where they, not even pawn triangle, but they do like c6, d5, and d takes c4. The note boom is with the pawn triangle. Varga Zoltan, one of my teammates from last year, he has a particular line of the Slav he played a lot. He would play d5, c6, and then take on c4 on move 3. And then there's these weird lines where you kind of hold on to the pawn with like bishop e6. I don't even know what it's called, basically. It's also very similar to Queen's Gambit Accepted, Bishop g4 variation. It's the same thing, basically, except the pawn's on c6 instead of c7, come to think of it. And on my, from my perspective in this position, does anybody know the weird thing about White's position? If I was to ask you, what's strange about White's position? What would strike you here? If I was to ask that, what's the strange feature of White's position? It's the queen on c2. Typically, the queen would not go to this square in this type of line. Queen b8. All right. Now we can play knight e5, and that starts to get kind of interesting. Still black is very, very solid. If he doesn't panic. I think I'm going to take off after this game, guys. We're going to be back for a Sunday simul. Thanks for your support. Appreciate the donations. WJ Loof donating 200 bits today. Much appreciated. Queen c7 as opposed to queen c2 is a much more normal move, actually, in the Slav type of situation. Also queen b8, though. You might want to consider queen b8 for black. So as not to be on the c file. Sometimes the c file is actually dangerous. Stonewall attack. If f4, then black has counterplay based on c5 in this particular structure. Takes, knight takes g4. g3. Or h3. What happens if h3, bishop h2 check? King h1, bishop g1. Then I have knight f3, actually. So maybe h3 is not so bad. Famous last words. He didn't even bother with that. Alright. I know what's happening here. Do you know? I criticized my last opponent when he played that other game with h6. Feels a little bit like h3 is weakening as well. Not a big deal. Mr. Coffee would like this position. It's very Mr. Coffee-like. Solid. Solid but not so impressive. Going for the bishops. The bishops. e4. He did not play e4. That is unexpected. I think it's important for black to play e4 there. Keep the position closed. This structure is actually favorable for white. There is slight imbalance in the pawn structure. Two bishops, fairly open game. White should be better. But if he had played e4 after knight c4, he kind of locks the position. I'm not convinced that white necessarily has an advantage after that. I mean, admittedly, this is playable for black, and it may not be that bad. But I don't think it's his best. Cheer your way to the top, guys. Please subscribe, support the stream. Be here for my simul on Sunday, our flagship event. 25 board simul I do every Sunday. It's really fun. It's a hard job, but somebody's got to do it. And it's good practice. If you don't have time to play a tournament game, it's a long game, basically lasting up to 3 hours. 6:30 p.m. on Sunday, I'll be fresh from my game with Tonat Min. So I'm extra tired. You have an even better chance after the simul giver has just played a tournament game. See how h3 Balkush Peter. I don't know how to pronounce your name properly, but I'm terrible. I'm trying to pronounce everyone like they're Hungarian. It sounds like a Hungarian name, actually. It's good to see you streaming. Thanks. You're streaming too, right? I recognize your name as a chess streamer. Queen g6. So if I hadn't played h3, I'd have a really good position. It's just like that other game where the guy played h6. This makes a huge difference. If I could just play f3 here, he can't play knight g3. He has no counterplay. White's just clearly better. But after f3, knight g3, I'm not sure white even has an advantage. But let's calculate. f3, knight g3, queen g6, knight e2 check, king f2, hg, king e2. We have that boring endgame where, yeah. Balkush. I would say Balkush in Hungarian. But maybe Balkus. I don't know how you say it. You know how to say it. I'm pronouncing everything like they pronounce it here in Budapest. I could pronounce it like an American too. That'd be even worse. I'm running out of time, so well, 6 seconds. But this might be a good move. But it might not. Might be a very good move. Queen e6. Actually, black has f5. f5. f5 is okay. Yeah, it's Hungarian. I get scolded all the time if I don't say it like that. So I'm constantly facing a lot of abuse for not pronouncing things with a sh sound. Black's now overextended slightly. Maybe not fatally. He's played really solid for 1700. Seems to be, I'm saying that a lot today. Rook on the 7th. It might not be enough. My fear is that it's not quite enough. Black's holding the line. It's nice to have a rook on the 7th, but it's not necessarily winning. We might have enough, though. It's pretty sharp. Rook ed1. He's sort of flagging. That's a crazy move. Rook h4. I don't know what he's up to. Some sort of cheapo? Yeah, it's basically some sort of cheapo. Probably I should just ignore it. Isn't there a back rank mate somewhere? Where's the back rank mate? Damn it. He could just take. Well, I guess I don't see it. Maybe he panicked because he thought he was getting mated. But he's actually not. It's like rook takes f4, queen f4, queen f4, rook d8, queen f8. Black draws. So I don't know that I'm even winning here after rook takes f4. The engine is claiming that endgame is a plus. With a rook on the 7th at the end, where he has to play rook b8, and I can play. There may be a better move. Apparently this move, I don't even know what that threatens, except for rook takes b7. So I'm a little bit better. But it was not a convincing victory. Danish says Balkush too. Yeah, because he's Hungarian. Okay, guys. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining me. I got to go. I'm going to be back. Nice to meet you, Peter. And we just started to get some viewers. It's a bad time, this morning time. Sometimes we're just not getting enough viewers. We'll be back on Sunday in the evening time, 6:30 CET. So that's it for today, unfortunately. I might move the streams more to this 11 o'clock time slot rather than 10 in the future. I can't play any more games today, guys. I'll be back on Sunday Simul. Thanks, Mr. Coffee. And thanks, everybody, for watching, supporting the stream. Make sure you bring it on Sunday. And wish me good luck against Tonatmin in the Hungarian Team Championship. Thanks from the Pandas and for myself. Happy weekend. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy. Bye-bye.